All right, good morning from Stronghold. We are delighted to update you on things here in a summer like no other. So we are open for business and hosting bubble retreats and volunteers, so give us a call. But there are challenges that we are facing. And we have a special guest that is going to expand on that a little bit. So I'm going to introduce our guest, David Spalding, pastor from Dixon.
Good morning. I'm David Spalding. I'm the pastor of First Presbyterian Church in Dixon, and I'm here with today to present what our session would like us to call the 2020 Stronghold Challenge. When we first heard during the spring about some of the financial challenges that Stronghold would be facing this year, one of my elders called me on the phone and said, "What can we do for Stronghold?" And so we put our heads together as a church, knowing as we do our love as a church family for Stronghold. Each one of our churches has its own Stronghold story. Ours begins back at the very beginning of Stronghold with the Reverend Malcolm Luty, who was pastor of the church through the 50s to the early 70s, who played a major role in the presbytery's acquisition of the property, and Reverend Luty and many of our members put in a lot of volunteer hours here in the early years, beginning to build Stronghold into what it is today. Generations of our children and youth and adults have benefited from Stronghold's programs. We are blessed to count Ryan Anderson as one of our church kids who came up through Stronghold over the years. And as we've been hearing in the last couple of years about the transformation of Stronghold, trying to adapt to the changing times we live in, we've been very encouraged by all that we've heard. And when we knew that this was going to be a challenging year for Stronghold, we began to ask, what could we do to help see Stronghold through this year so that things might get back on track after this time dealing with the coronavirus? So our session met, and we put together three prongs of an approach to what we hoped that we could do. The first of those is we looked at our own budget. We recognized that we had budgeted money for traveling day camp this year, and we had budgeted money for camp scholarships for our children who would be coming to camp here at Stronghold. And we said, let's send that money to Stronghold anyhow, even though they can't provide those programs this year. And then we looked at our balance sheet a little bit more and said, can we do a little bit more than that? And so in the end, we approved a gift of $5,000 to Stronghold. The second prong of that is we communicated with the members of our congregation, many of whom also have long personal connections with Stronghold, and asked for individuals to consider making a special gift to Stronghold this summer. And the third part of it is this. My session said, we want this to be a sort of leadership opportunity for us to ask other churches around the Presbytery of Black Hawk and other friends of Stronghold to consider what you might be able to do this year to help see Stronghold through these challenging times. And so I present to you our 2020 Stronghold Challenge. As I do that, I'm very mindful of what Paul said in 2 Corinthians when he was challenging the church in Corinth to give to support their sisters and brothers in Christ in Jerusalem. And he said this, in effect, that our gifts are acceptable to the Lord based on what we have and not on what we don't have. Many of our churches are facing challenging times of our own right now. But I would encourage you to prayerfully consider what you can do within the means the Lord has provided to help see Stronghold through this challenging season, so that next summer we can all be back here and have a much more normal, traditional, joyful year at Stronghold. Thank you very much.